Okay, so yesterday, if you're not following along like I do all year long, the Detroit Lions won yesterday, so they took care of business, which is in this league, that's all you can do. All you can do is handle your business. That's it. And any team, any coach, any player will tell you you cannot rely on other teams, right? We heard the Lions talking about it. First time I heard Dan Campbell mention playoffs ever was last week before this game. Lions take care of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And just real quick, I respect Trevor Lawrence more than I ever have. A, he's a tough young man. B, he's got talent. And C, he gave credit where credit was due. He said that the Lions whooped their behind. He wasn't like Aaron Rodgers, that they didn't beat us, we beat ourselves, right? So kudos to that young man. I'm glad he's healthy and did not get hurt. Looks like it all yesterday, and that's good to see. But I watch for the playoffs. I've had my feel of kneecaps, and I've had my feel of watching for progress. The Detroit Lions have progress. Now, I want y'all to understand, I'm not mad. This isn't me complaining. I'm like, man, we were right there. So the tie yesterday between the Giants and Commanders hurts the Lions. It renders, listen how big of a sabotage this was. And I actually, listen, I'm going to say something that's going to be controversial, okay? And this is go with what Patty said, all right? Last year, if you remember, the LA Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders, they had all they had to do was tie. If they tied, both of them got into the playoffs, right? Okay. They tie, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are put out. And according to sources, if they were going to tie, it wasn't until Brandon Staley decided to do something that the Raiders coach didn't like, that they decided, you know what, we're going to win this game, right? If both teams tied, the Steelers are out, the Chargers and the Raiders are in, okay? I saw this after yesterday's game, that it was some very questionable coaching decisions made yesterday between not only the Giants, okay, but also Ron Rivera, right? That's what I heard after the game was over. Why did they tie? Was it coincidence? It could have been. 2 or 3 ties happen every year in the NFL. Or is it that tie between those two teams render the Detroit Lions tiebreaker null and void? Now, you might be saying, well, great, bruh, they got them by 2 games. They do. They do have them by 2 games. But people scared to play the Lions. I said this last week before the Bills game. If we beat the Bills, nobody in the NFL will want to see us. And guess what? We came out and I said that these guys were going to stomp the Jacksonville Jaguars. You can go back and check the tape, because they feel in some type of way that they let one get away in Buffalo. Nate, if you both make the playoffs, absolutely. And how do you say that about listen, bro, it came out. It came out last year that the Raiders and Chargers had an agreement. They weren't planning to win that game. It wasn't until Brandon Staley did something that I can't remember who the interim Raiders coach was at the time, that they started to do that. So what am I saying here? What am I saying? I'm saying that I am ecstatic about the win. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from the win. I'm like, man, the worst case scenario. But you know what's funny is I said it right away. During the postgame show, immediately said that tie was for the worst. So now the Detroit Lions have to be, if they are 7, I'm going to tell you right now, okay? The Lions right now could go 10-7. If the Lions lose one and the Seattle Seahawks, Seattle Seahawks, the Washington Commanders, and the New York Giants all hit 10 wins, we're done. All right? Now, am I going to be really super bummed? No, I'm not going to be bummed. But in the back of my mind, I'm going to be like, what if? I'm going to be playing that what if game all year long. Because I'm going to be honest with you. All right? And our Super Bowl is this. Actually, our Super Bowl is the next 5 games, right? But just like the Buffalo Bills before, the Minnesota Vikings are our Super Bowl, and we have them at home. All right. Our best case scenario is to win 5 straight. The Chicago Bears are officially out of the playoffs yesterday. The Houston Texans, Chicago Bears. Houston has the number 1 seed right now. Chicago has the number 2. So in a scale of I'm 80% happy, 20% sad, because this is what I do, y'all. Like, I do this every year. And I'm like plotting toward the future, right? I'm looking toward the future. Once week 11 happens, and y'all remember, man, we was 1-6 and I was still talking playoffs. Now there is a way that we still get in. And shout out to Pride of Detroit, man. Pride of Detroit did the work for me, so I don't have to do it. And this will probably be a 10-minute segment. The worst possible scenario happened yesterday by a tie. Here is the remaining schedule for the Giants, okay? And we almost had the Rams help us out yesterday. But Geno Smith, the DK Metcalf, with a dime, and the Rams just couldn't do it. The Giants' remaining schedule: Eagles, Commanders, Vikings, Colts, Eagles. Okay? They play three division games, and they're 1-4 in their last 5 games. Well, 1-4-1, I believe. Okay, no, I'm sorry. They can go 1-4 down the stretch. So again, Eagles, Commanders, Vikings, Colts, Eagles again. All right? We probably need a Commanders win now. Now, if they tie again, that would be fantastic. If they tie again, that would be fantastic. Because at that point, that got to work in our favor. I haven't really done the math yet. But if they're 9, 8, and 9, 7, and 2. Nope, 9, 6, and 1. 9, 6, and 2. 9, 6, and 2. So we need okay. Yeah, we can't have them tie again. Ties are just like 2 half wins. So we can't have them tie again. That's not going to happen, but anyway. Commanders and Falcons are off this week. We did jump the Falcons to number 9. We did jump the Falcons. So the Commanders only have 4 games left. Giants, 49ers, Browns, Cowboys. Now, this is about to get sticky, y'all, so stay with me. I'm going to try to have this segment not go over 10 minutes. Of course, the Lions got to take care of their business. Seahawks, Panthers, 49ers, no Jimmy G, he's out. Chiefs, Jets, Rams. Okay? Now, what do you see there? I see the Eagles possibly at 11-1 with nothing to play for. Now, here's where it gets sticky at, right? And there's no other way to do it but to win. We have to win our games. Eagles, in week 18, are they going to have the number 1 seed locked up? Okay? Right now, they have the Minnesota Vikings on their heels. Vikings are 10-2. The Eagles are 11-1. And while you playing, Dallas ain't done either. Now, the 49ers, I don't think they're going to be a threat. Eagles want the number 1 seed indeed, right? However, if we beat the Minnesota Vikings this Sunday, the Vikings go to 10-3. If the Eagles win, they're all of a sudden 12-1. So now they have a 2.5 game lead, because right now they have a 1.5 game. If they got the number 1 seed locked up, when they play the Giants, they could be resting half the team. Right? And that's our biggest concern. The Seahawks, I think, will lose to the Niners. They will lose to the Chiefs. We're going to need a bunch of help from a bunch of folks. But the worst possible thing that the Falcons lost made us move up. The Bears got eliminated. Fantastic. The Green Bay Packers right behind us. The Rams almost put off an upset, and the Giants and Commanders tie. In the worst possible outcome for probably the hottest team in the NFL right now, outside of the Philadelphia Eagles. So let me know what you think, man. It ain't over. Lions went out, they go. But if these teams win 10 games and we don't, then we're done.